Dang. Yeah. It's illuminating my hair. It's Don't worry about it. It's a little fluffy and a little ridiculous. If you guys ever look at my face, I mean, it's off on its own, but my glasses, you see how they tilt? Yeah. You see that? It's because I sleep in my glasses because I'm blind. Don't worry about it. Oh, what's up, guys? It's your boy Mason here, bringing you another video. My intro? Sure, why not? Today we gonna be talking about school, and honestly, I don't really want to talk about it, but we gonna, cause it's right around the corner. No watch on today, but on a real note, school is right around the corner. Right around the corner, which may suck for a lot of us. I've got 1 year left. That's all I got. I'm ready to get it done and over with, so I can get into the next stage of my life, and maybe continue showing you guys what's going on. Don't want to let you guys steal my idea though. But we got 1 year left. I'm a senior in college. I go to IU, Indiana University. So with that being said, I am on my way out. I have things I got to focus on, but it's not like I have to study, take exams that are super stressful and stuff like that. So I've kind of gotten all that behind me, which I'm really happy about. I keep looking at my monitor over here because the 6300 ain't got no viewfinder on it. Yeah, or it's got a viewfinder, ain't got no flip-up screen. And the other camera I recorded with last time was not the greatest. I think next time I should just move this right in front of here. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good idea. But today we're going to be talking about 3 different tips about how you guys can stay motivated while in school, which honestly can be a hard time or hard thing to do, especially when it seems like it just drags on forever. But the biggest thing is, you kind of know what to expect already, hopefully, unless you're maybe a freshman going into the first year of high school or college. And those can be very, very stressful times, especially with what's going on right now in the world. But hopefully you guys can make it on through. But the first tip is going to be stay organized. Organization allows you to stay focused on your goals better. And so with that, you can kind of figure out what path you want to take. Being organized is kind of a big thing in life in general, especially in school, because there's a lot of different things that you're dealing with that aren't all the same. Obviously, school is, school. You got to learn stuff. You got to take tests. It is what it is. But you got math, science, English, and then depending on what you're, studying or what electives you're taking in high school or college, you have those classes as well. So you kind of really have to focus on, each one of those specifically, and having the organization for each one of those separate, and that way they don't kind of interconnect and get all tangled up, is going to make a big difference for you overall. I know one thing that this is something I've kind of had to pick up as I've gone along. Early on in my school, my education, I was not organized whatsoever. I wasn't the kid that just took the papers and shoved them in the backpack, but I definitely was a kid that just said, here's the papers, here's the folder, we'll just put them in there, not look at them ever again. But as I've gotten older and as I've gone through my school and stuff like that, I've become more and more organized. My folders and stuff like that still stay the same, but I actually do kind of organize the papers inside those folders and pay attention to those, as well as taking notes. My notes are organized, however, I have gone back and forth on what style of notes I take, whether it's digital or handwritten notes. Everybody's learning style is a little bit different, so you kind of have to figure that out on your own. Hopefully you kind of got that down. My recommendation, if you're doing it in handwritten form, notebooks, writing the date and keeping it all in one notebook. Don't spread it out into different notebooks that you're taking notes in, because that's really hard to find the notes when you go back later on trying to study and stuff like that. If you're doing it digitally, there's plenty of apps out there. I know, OneNote is one of the easier ones that's free, that you really don't have to pay, you don't have to learn. Most of us are pretty intuitive with the Microsoft apps and stuff like that we've kind of learned and grew up using. But those are 2, big things that you can do, if you're handwriting notes or doing digital notes, is staying organized with that, because, honestly, if your life is chaotic, your school is going to be chaotic too. So you kind of have to have some sense of organization when it comes down to it. Number 2 is kind of, just plan ahead. Like I touched upon in the first one was, organization, you kind of want to plan ahead. You know what you're going to be doing for the semester or the year, as far as the dates that you have set out. And most of us are given a syllabus from the beginning of the semester for our courses and stuff like that. So you can kind of plan accordingly to that and make sure you have all your big dates and stuff like that written down. That way they don't just kind of come up all of a sudden. And when it comes down to it, when you're planning ahead, you're going to be more prepared for the assignments and stuff. And as long as you're doing the assignments and studying like a normal person does, and I'll tell you firsthand, I'm not the kid that studies 7 hours a week. I'm the kid that studies like 1 hour every day, if that, maybe 2 or 3 days a week. But I still get good grades, A's and B's. Then that's how I do. But planning ahead is a big thing. Knowing when you have tests and stuff like that coming up or quizzes. That way, at least you can study 10 minutes before, or 10 days before or whatnot. You know what's coming before you even get there. With you planning ahead, that's going to allow your organization and the planning ahead to work together, and make sure that you don't fall behind or lose track of things in between your different classes. Because depending on what you're going to school for, whether it be in high school or college, you may be taking more and more classes than what you're normally used to, and it is easy to fall behind because of organization not being there, or just not planning out your time accordingly. The third tip of staying motivated in school is balancing between both yourself and school. You can't just give your entire life to school, because then your personal life, or as well as yourself, is going to kind of fall behind, and it's not going to be the best for your overall mental health and stuff like that. So you do have to balance your personal life and your school life and stuff like that, and make sure they function together well. Obviously, I'm not saying just blow off school and go hang out with your friends, or focus on school completely, but having that balance of having your own personal time as well as the time for school is going to make your life overall happier and better, which is going to allow you to stay more motivated to continue throughout your entire education, or however long you have left, for what you have to do. Because of the way we all are a little bit different, what your personal life is and what you plan on doing may be different than somebody else. Personally, growing up, I was a big gamer and stuff like that, so being able to play video games and work on schoolwork and stuff like that were the two things I kind of had to focus on. Schoolwork wasn't my first priority, unfortunately, which it probably should have been. However, I've gotten through it. I would kind of come home and play video games first and do schoolwork after, in a sense, but that's because I would get some of the schoolwork done beforehand at school. That way I didn't have to worry about it coming home. Obviously, college and stuff like that came around. That didn't really happen. Schoolwork comes home, so you got to plan around that accordingly. I am a procrastinator. I've gotten it from my dad, so I kind of have to work around that. I'm not going to blame him. I got to deal with it myself. But sometimes I will wait until the last minute for the deadlines, even though I know that they're there. But in the end, I think it does turn out for some better work, because I strive when that deadline is right there, and it's right there on my shoulders to get it done. So those are really 3 tips of mine that I think are pretty helpful when it comes to staying motivated and getting through school, especially during these times. They can be very trying, and hopefully you guys are all staying happy, staying healthy, wearing the masks. People say they're not effective. It may not be effective, but it's just common courtesy. Have some human decency. Wear a mask so we can flatten this curve and get through this. But as always, it's your boy Mason signing out. Hopefully you guys liked the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. We'll see what it is. Maybe school time or something else. Who knows? But see ya. We need a change in the world, and this is coming from a white dude. Yeah, this is coming from a white dude.